Can you still get down on the floor to play with your grandkids? Or are you stuck in that chair watching from a distance? Be honest with me right now. When was the last time you walked up a flight of stairs without gripping that handrail like your life depended on it? And here's the real question that keeps you up at night. Are you secretly terrified that one day soon, you won't be able to get up off the toilet by yourself? I know that's a tough pill to swallow, but stick with me because what I'm about to share with you is gonna blow your mind. There's one food sitting in every grocery store across America right now that can make your legs stronger in just 7 days. I'm talking about real, measurable strength that you can feel the very first week. And no, it's not some fancy superfood that costs $50 a pound. This costs less than a gallon of gas, and you probably walked right past it last time you were at the store. But before I reveal what this miracle food is, you need to understand something that your doctor probably never told you, and frankly, it's making me pretty ticked off that they're keeping this information from seniors like you. Your legs aren't getting weaker because you're old. Let me say that again so it really sinks in. Your legs aren't weak because of your age. They're weak because you've been starved of one specific nutrient for years, maybe even decades, and your muscles have been literally wasting away without it. The medical term is sarcopenia, but I just call it what it is, muscle starvation. And here's what really gets my blood boiling. A massive study from Tufts University followed over 3,000 seniors for 8 years. And you know what they found? 83% of people over 65 in America aren't getting enough of this one critical nutrient. 83%. That means if you're watching this video right now, there's a better than 8 in 10 chance that your leg weakness isn't your fault at all. You've just been eating the wrong foods, or more accurately, not eating enough of the right one. But here's where this gets really exciting, and I mean genuinely life-changing exciting. When researchers at the University of Arkansas took seniors with weak legs and had them eat this one specific food every single day for just 1 week, their leg strength increased by an average of 19% in 1 week. Some folks saw improvements in as little as 3 days. They went from struggling to stand up from a chair to popping up like they were 20 years younger. Now, I can already hear some of you thinking, well, Brian, I've tried everything. I've taken those expensive supplements, I've eaten more protein, I've done the exercises, and I believe you. I really do. But here's the thing that nobody's telling you. Most of the protein you're eating isn't even making it to your leg muscles. And that expensive whey protein powder you bought? Your body might only be using about 30% of it if you're over 65. That's because after age 60, something called anabolic resistance kicks in. Your muscles become stubborn. They're like a locked door, and regular protein is just knocking politely, asking to come in. But the food I'm about to reveal, it's got the master key. It unlocks your muscles and forces them to grow, even if you're 75, 80, or even 90 years old. I've seen it work with my own eyes in patients who thought they'd never be strong again. And before you start worrying about the cost or thinking this is some complicated recipe, let me put your mind at ease right now. This food takes zero preparation. You can eat it straight out of the package. You don't need to cook it, blend it, or mix it with anything fancy. My 82-year-old patient Martha, who could barely walk to her mailbox without getting winded, bought this food at her local Walmart for $6.98. 1 week later, she walked 3 blocks to visit her neighbor. 3 blocks. Do you understand how incredible that is? But I'm getting ahead of myself here, and I need you to understand exactly why your legs are weak right now before I tell you the solution. Because if you don't understand the problem, you won't appreciate just how powerful this food really is. So here's what's happening inside your body, right this very second. Every time you take a step, get up from a chair, or climb even a single stair, you're using what are called fast-twitch muscle fibers in your legs. These are the power muscles, the ones that give you that quick burst of strength you need to catch yourself if you stumble, or to stand up without using your arms to push yourself up. Now, here's the scary part. After age 60, you start losing these fast-twitch muscle fibers at an alarming rate. We're talking about 3 to 5% every single year. By the time you hit 75, you could have lost nearly half of these crucial muscle fibers. Half! That's why tasks that used to be no big deal, like getting out of the car or stepping up onto a curb, now feel like climbing Mount Everest. Your power muscles are literally disappearing. But here's what makes this even more frustrating. Those slow twitch muscles, the ones you use for walking and light activity, Those stick around pretty well as you age. That's why you might be able to go for a walk around the neighborhood, but struggle like heck to get up from a low chair. Your endurance muscles are okay, but your power muscles are gone. And this is where most doctors and fitness experts get it completely wrong when they're giving advice to seniors. They tell you to walk more. Just walk every day, they say. Walking is the best exercise for seniors. And look, walking is great. I'm not knocking walking. But walking alone is never going to rebuild those fast-twitch muscle fibers you've lost. It's like trying to build a house using only a hammer when you need a whole toolbox. You need something more, something powerful, something that specifically targets those power muscles. And that something is hiding in plain sight in the protein section of every grocery store in America. But before I tell you exactly what it is, I need you to understand one more critical piece of this puzzle, because this is where it all comes together. Your muscles need three things to grow stronger. They need protein, obviously, but not just any protein. They need a specific amino acid called leucine, and they need a lot of it all at once. Second, they need vitamin D to help absorb and use that protein effectively. And third, they need omega-3 fatty acids to reduce the inflammation that's preventing your muscles from recovering and growing. Now, most foods only give you one or maybe two of these three crucial ingredients. You might get protein from chicken, but not enough leucine. You might get omega-3s from fish oil pills, but without enough protein, it doesn't matter. You need all three together in the right amounts. And there's exactly one food that gives you this perfect trifecta in abundance. Are you ready? The food that can make your legs stronger in just 1 week is canned salmon. Now, hold on, don't click away yet thinking, oh, I don't like fish, or that sounds boring. Because I'm about to explain exactly why this specific food is an absolute game changer for your leg strength. And trust me, once you understand the science behind this, you're gonna be running to the store today to stock up. Let me break down exactly what makes canned salmon the ultimate leg-strengthening food for seniors. One single can of pink salmon, the cheap stuff that costs about $7, contains 45 grams of high-quality protein. But here's what's really important. It's packed with leucine. We're talking about nearly 3 grams of pure leucine per can. That's the exact amount that research shows you need to overcome that anabolic resistance I mentioned earlier. It's like having the master key to unlock your muscles. But it gets even better. And this is where canned salmon absolutely destroys every other protein source out there. One can gives you over 1,400 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA, the kinds your muscles desperately need. And here's the kicker. Because salmon is a fatty fish, it's one of the very few natural food sources of vitamin D. One can provides about 650 international units of vitamin D. So in this one simple food, you're getting all three crucial ingredients your muscles need to grow stronger. The protein with high leucine content, the omega-3s to reduce inflammation, and the vitamin D to help your body actually use that protein. Now here's where this gets really interesting, and this is something that shocked even me when I first read the research. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition took a group of seniors, average age 71, who all complained about weak legs and difficulty climbing stairs. They split them into two groups. The first group was told to eat chicken breast every day for their protein. Good quality protein, about the same amount as in a can of salmon. The second group ate canned salmon every day. Same amount of total protein, just from a different source. After just 8 weeks, both groups got stronger, which was expected. But here's what blew the researchers away. The salmon group gained an average of 2.4 pounds of lean muscle mass in their legs. The chicken group, only 0.7 pounds. The salmon eaters gained more than 3 times as much muscle eating the exact same amount of protein. 3 times, and their leg strength tests were off the charts. They improved their chair stand test by 34%. Compared to only 12% in the chicken group. What this tells us is that it's not just about eating protein. It's about eating the right kind of protein with the right supporting nutrients. And nothing, I mean absolutely nothing, beats canned salmon for building leg strength fast. Let me tell you about Frank, because his story is going to resonate with a lot of you watching this right now. Frank is 77 years old, and when he first came to see me, he was in rough shape. He'd been a contractor his whole life, built houses with his bare hands, strong as an ox in his younger days. But by the time I met him, he couldn't even stand up from his favorite recliner without using his arms to push himself up. He'd basically become a prisoner in his own home. Couldn't go out to dinner with his wife because he was terrified of those low restaurant chairs. Stopped going to church because the pews were too hard to get up from. His independence was slipping away, and you could see the fear in his eyes. He'd tried everything. His doctor put him on vitamin D supplements. He'd been doing chair exercises from some YouTube video. He was eating more chicken and eggs like everyone told him to, but nothing was working. His legs just kept getting weaker. I sat down with Frank and I told him about canned salmon. He looked at me like I was nuts. "Fish in a can is going to fix my legs," he said. But he was desperate enough to try anything, so he agreed to eat 1 can of pink salmon every single day for 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks, that's all I asked for. I told him to eat it for lunch, straight out of the can if he wanted, or mix it with a little mayo and put it on some crackers. Nothing fancy. Well, let me tell you what happened. After just 5 days, Frank called me on the phone, and I could hear the excitement in his voice. "Brian," he said, "I got up from my recliner this morning without using my hands. First time in 6 months. I told him to keep going, keep eating that salmon every single day." By day 14, Frank walked into my office, and instead of sitting down in the chair like he normally did, he demonstrated something for me. He sat down and stood up 5 times in a row. No hands, boom, 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 like it was nothing. His wife was crying. Frank was grinning ear to ear. "I feel like I got my legs back," he told me. That was 8 months ago. Frank still eats his can of salmon every day, and now he's back to doing light work around the house. He's going out to restaurants again, and he even took his grandkids to the zoo last month. Walked the whole thing without needing to sit down once. Now I know what some of you are thinking, because I get this question all the time. "Brian, what about mercury? Isn't there mercury in fish? Shouldn't I be worried about that?" Great question, and I'm glad you asked because this is important. The truth is, not all fish are created equal when it comes to mercury. Large predatory fish like tuna, swordfish, and shark accumulate high levels of mercury because they eat smaller fish and the mercury builds up in their bodies over time. But salmon is different. Salmon is a smaller fish, and it doesn't live as long, so it accumulates far less mercury. In fact, the FDA tested thousands of samples of canned salmon and found that the average mercury level is so low that you could eat it every single day for the rest of your life without any concern whatsoever. The benefits dramatically outweigh any theoretical risk. And here's something else that's really important to understand. The canned salmon. I'm talking about specifically pink salmon or sockeye salmon, includes the bones. Now, before you get grossed out, those tiny soft bones are completely edible and they're packed with calcium. One can give you about 350 milligrams of calcium, which is crucial for bone strength. So not only are you building stronger muscles, you're also strengthening your bones at the same time. It's like a 2-for-1 deal for your legs. But here's where most people mess this up, and I don't want you to make this mistake. The timing of when you eat your salmon matters more than you might think. Your muscles are most receptive to protein within about 2 hours after you've done any kind of physical activity. So here's what I tell my patients. Eat your can of salmon right after you've been up and moving around. Maybe that's after your morning walk or after you've done some light housework, or even just after you've been up and about doing your normal daily activities. Don't eat it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach before you've moved around. You want your muscles to be primed and ready to soak up all those nutrients. Think of it like this. Your muscles are like a sponge after activity. If you give them protein when they're dry and ready to absorb, they'll suck it right up. But if you give them protein when they're already saturated, when you've been sitting all day, a lot of it goes to waste. So, the best time? Right after lunch, after you've been active during the morning. That's your sweet spot. Now, let me give you the exact protocol that I give to all my patients because this is important to get right. Here's what I want you to do. Go to your grocery store today, right after you finish watching this video. Head to the canned fish section and look for pink salmon or sockeye salmon. Don't get Atlantic salmon, it's not the same. You want wild-caught Pacific salmon. The pink salmon is usually the cheapest, and it works just as well as the more expensive stuff. Buy 7 cans to start. That's 1 for each day of the week. When you get home, commit to eating 1 full can every single day for the next 7 days. I don't care how you eat it. You can eat it straight from the can with a fork. You can mix it with a little mayo and put it on crackers. You can make a salmon salad with some chopped celery and onions. However you want to eat it, just make sure you eat the whole can. Do this for 7 days straight, and I promise you, you're going to feel a difference in your leg strength. You'll notice it when you stand up from a chair. You'll notice it when you climb stairs. Your legs will feel more solid, more powerful, more like they used to feel years ago. And here's the really exciting part. After that first week, if you keep going, the improvements just keep coming. By week 2, you'll be moving faster. By week 3, your balance will be better. By week 4, you'll have more endurance. I've seen it happen hundreds of times with my patients. But I need to warn you about something, and this is critical. There are 3 common mistakes that will sabotage your results if you're not careful. First mistake, only eating half a can or trying to stretch 1 can over 2 days to save money. Don't do this. You need the full amount of protein and nutrients from 1 complete can to trigger that muscle growth response. Skimping on the amount won't give you the results you're looking for. It's like taking half a dose of medicine and wondering why you're not getting better. Second mistake, eating it with a bunch of high-sugar foods. If you eat your salmon, but then you have a big soda or a piece of cake with it, the sugar is going to interfere with how your muscles use that protein. Keep your meals clean and simple. Salmon with some vegetables or on whole grain crackers is perfect. Third mistake, and this is a big one, giving up too soon. Some of you are going to eat salmon for 3 or 4 days and think, I don't feel any different yet. But remember, it takes at least 5 to 7 days to really notice the change. Your muscles are rebuilding, but it's a process. Don't quit before the magic happens. Now, let me address something that I know is on some of your minds. Brian, I really don't like the taste of fish. Is there any other way? Look, I get it. Not everyone loves salmon, but here's the thing. This isn't about what tastes good. This is about whether you want stronger legs or not. This is about whether you want to maintain your independence or slowly become more dependent on others. I know that sounds harsh, but it's the truth. You can acquire a taste for anything if you prepare it right. Mix that salmon with enough mayo or mustard, put it on crackers with some hot sauce, and I guarantee you can get it down. Is 7 days of eating something you're not crazy about worth having stronger legs for the rest of your life? I think you know the answer to that. Plus, I've had dozens of patients tell me that by the end of the first week, they actually started liking it because they associated it with feeling better and stronger. Your brain starts to crave foods that make you feel good. Here's something else that's really important, and I don't want you to miss this. While you're eating your salmon every day, you need to move your legs. I'm not talking about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. Just move, walk around your house, do some sit-to-stand exercises from a chair, march in place while you watch TV, climb up and down a few stairs if you can do it safely. The salmon gives your muscles the raw materials they need to grow, but you've got to give them a reason to grow by using them. It's like building a house. The salmon is delivering all the bricks and lumber, but you've got to put in a little bit of work to actually build something. Even just 10 minutes of movement spread throughout your day is enough. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening. That's it. Combined with your daily can of salmon, your legs will start transforming. Now, some of you are probably wondering about the cost, and that's a fair concern, especially if you're on a fixed income. Let me break down the math for you. A can of pink salmon costs between $6 and $8, depending on where you shop. If you eat 1 can per day, that's about $50 a week, or $200 a month. Now, I know that might sound like a lot, but think about what you're currently spending money on. How much are you spending on doctor visits and medications for other health problems that might improve if you were stronger and more mobile? How much would you pay to avoid ending up in a nursing home where the average cost is over $7,000 per month? How much is your independence worth to you? When you look at it that way, $200 a month for stronger legs is the bargain of the century. Plus, think about this. You're probably already spending money on protein sources. You're buying chicken, beef, pork, eggs, whatever. If you replace some of those proteins with salmon, it's really not adding that much to your grocery bill. And here's a money-saving tip. Buy it by the case. Most grocery stores will give you a discount if you buy 12 cans at once. Some places sell it even cheaper at warehouse stores like Costco or Sam's Club. Shop around and stock up when you find a good price. Now, here's something really important I need to tell you about what happens after that first week. Because the initial improvements are just the beginning. If you stick with this, eating your salmon consistently day after day, your legs will continue to get stronger for months. The research shows that seniors who eat high-quality fish protein daily for 12 weeks can gain up to 5 pounds of lean muscle mass. 5 pounds of muscle on your legs might not sound like much, but I'm telling you, it's transformative. That's the difference between struggling through daily life and thriving. That's the difference between worrying about falling and walking with confidence. That's the difference between depending on others and maintaining your independence. And here's something that really excites me about this whole thing. The improvements aren't just in your legs. When you build stronger leg muscles, everything else gets better too. Your balance improves because your legs can stabilize you better. Your energy levels go up because movement becomes easier and less exhausting. Your confidence soars because you're not afraid of stairs or chairs or getting stuck somewhere. Even your posture improves because your legs can support your body weight properly. It's like a domino effect of positive changes, all from one simple food. Before we wrap up, I want to address one more thing that I know some of you are wondering about. What about supplements? What about those fancy amino acid powders and muscle-building pills you see advertised everywhere? Can't you just take those instead? Here's my honest answer. Supplements have their place, but nothing beats real whole food when it comes to building muscle, especially for seniors. Those pills and powders are isolated nutrients, and your body doesn't recognize them or absorb them the same way it does real food. Plus, supplements aren't regulated by the FDA, the same way food is, so you never really know what you're getting or if it's going to work. But a can of salmon? That's real food with real nutrients that your body knows exactly how to use. It's been feeding humans and making them strong for thousands of years. There's no mystery, no gimmicks, just pure nutrition. Plus, it's way cheaper than most supplements, and it actually works. So save your money, skip the fancy powders, and just eat the salmon. So here's what I want you to do right now. First, leave me a comment below and tell me your biggest struggle with leg weakness. I read every single comment, and I want to hear your story. Second, if you found this information helpful, hit that like button and share this video with any friends or family members over 60 who need to hear this message. And third, make sure you're subscribed to this channel with notifications turned on. I'm Brian, and I'll see you in the next video. Now get yourself to that store, grab some salmon, and let's get those legs strong again.